Hello, so today we're going to start this color wheel snake. And the reason it's called a color wheel snake is because the order that the colors are colored in is the color wheel order, or the rainbow order. And we won't just be doing a 6-part color wheel like we did in the 2nd grade where we focused on primary and secondary colors only. We're going to also include the intermediate colors. We're going to be mixing those by overlapping primary and secondary colors with the crayons. So the way that you're going to start this is you're going to start with a large white piece of paper. First thing you need to do on the white paper is write your name and the day you have art. Day A, day B, day C. You're going to flip it over. And the first thing you're going to draw is your snake's head. And it can be the trickiest part of the snake. It's the part that frustrates a lot of 3rd graders. So you're going to decide where you want to put the head. Do you want to put it in the middle, over to the side, over near the top? And turn your paper anyway. And then you're going to start with a wide V for the nose of your snake. But the V is not going to be pointy, it's going to be more rounded. So you're going to kind of imagine you're drawing a V. When you get to the bottom of your V and you're ready to go back up, instead of going straight back up to make a point, curve and come back around. And so this is going to be the nose of my snake. Then you're going to curl and curve the V back, almost like you're going to then do an upside down V, almost like a diamond. But you don't want to curve too far back because you need to leave room for the body of your snake. And then you're just going to go back and kind of touch things up and try to make them look symmetrical. If you don't like your snake's head, you think it's too skinny, then erase and make it more wider. If you think it's too long, erase, make it shorter. It's really up to you what shape you want. Now in the past I've had people do 2-headed snakes. They thought that might be fun. If you want to draw 2 heads and connect them, you could do that as well. And I'll show you how to do that. Just come see me and we'll talk about it. So now I'm ready to do the body of the snake. I don't want a skinny little body of your snake and this giant head. Your body of your snake should be a good proportion to the head of your snake. And notice how I'm adding the body, or actually this is kind of the neck of the snake. How I'm attaching the neck is I'm kind of doing a gentle curve. Now I would like the body of your snake to be at least 2 finger widths. But if you look here, mine's almost 3 fingers widths, the thickness. And then you need to make your snake go off the paper, come back on, and your snake's body needs to touch all 4 sides of your paper at some point. So I think I'm going to curve this to go off the side of the paper. Now when you do your first line, you can just draw it freehand and no issue. But when you do the second line, it needs to follow and curve the same curvature as the first line. So it needs to be parallel, side by side, but never getting closer or further apart. So I might use my fingers to kind of put a little mark so I know how thick the body should continue to be. And then I'm going to curve up because this line curves up, and try to touch that little mark I made for the 3 fingers so that my body doesn't get skinnier. And then it should curve down and then back up and off the paper. I do not want to see snakes that go like this. Snakes' bodies, you've got a curve here and you go something like that to where it's like fat and then skinny and then starts to get fat again. So it has to be parallel. So that's why when you draw your first line, you just draw it. When you draw your second line, you follow the first line. So this went up, so this line had to go up. Then it came down, so this line had to come down. Then it went back up, so this line had to go back up. All right, so I have my snake touching the right side of my paper. I need to have my snake touch the top, the left side, and the bottom. So I'm going to have my snake cross over itself. So I'm going to draw a line that goes behind. And now I need to draw another line, 3 fingers widths. Left. And look how my first line I just kind of draw, and my second line I'm sketching it so that I can get it the correct thickness and the correct curvature to match the first line. All right, so now my snake is touching 3 sides, but it's not touching this side. So I think on this side I'm going to add the tail, and this time my snake is going to get skinnier because it is the tail of the snake. So maybe I start almost 3 fingers widths, but then I get closer. And you can just bring this to a point, or if you'd like to do a rattlesnake, then you might erase the end of the tail and draw some ovals that gradually get smaller for the rattle of the snake, if you want to do more of a rattlesnake. If you know of a better way to draw the rattle on the rattlesnake, you go for it. Show me. But that's how I do a rattle on the bottom of the rattlesnake. This could be enough. This meets the criteria, but I think I might want to add maybe another part of the body here just to kind of fill up this empty space. All right. So I need to add the face to my snake. Snake's eyes are the same shape as human eyes. They're ellipse shapes. And they also have a circle, a colored part in there. But the pupil, the black dot in our eyes, is not a dot in a snake's eyes. It's more of a ellipse shape that's up and down vertical. So I'm going to add my snake's eyes by drawing two nice big ellipses. And I like to angle them so that it makes the snake look a little bit more mean. Right now it almost looks like an alien. And those eyes are a little off. This one's a little bit bigger and further down, so I'm going to erase this and try again. Okay. Now I add the circle part, the colored part, the iris part. And then the vertical, that's an ellipse shape, so now another vertical ellipse inside. And then I add two little ovals for the nose. Okay, if you want to add a forked tongue, go for it, or you do not have to. But I start with two lines parallel to each other, then I bring them out at a curve, and then a big U in the middle. Okay, so after you have your snake drawn, touching all four sides of the paper, a nice even parallel lines drawn, then you're going to outline with Sharpie marker. Make sure you use a Sharpie that works, nice, dark, heavy black being shown. You can color the black parts of the eyes with the marker. You don't have to. You could use crayon for that if you want. Remember with Sharpies, if you draw slowly with the Sharpie, get a nice black line sometimes, but if you go too fast, it'll turn gray. So take your time, trace your pencil lines neatly, go slow so you get a black line. This is starting to die on me, so I'm going to get a different one. Alright, and then after I outline, I always like to go back with an eraser and erase any pencil lines I didn't quite cover up. So now I am ready to color in my snake in the color wheel order. But the first thing I need to do is I need to get out the primary and the secondary colors. So the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And the secondary colors, green, orange, and violet. You can start anywhere in your snake you want. You don't have to start at the nose and work your way up. You should know that the rattle, the irises of the eyes, and the tongue do not have to fit into the color wheel order. They can be any color you want, but the snake's face, neck, and body need to be in the color wheel order. I'm going to start up here. You can start with any color in the rainbow that you want, but then you have to get the correct order after that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with green, and you're going to color in the direction of the snake's body. You're not going to color side to side from one Sharpie marker to the other Sharpie marker line. You're going to color up and down following the curvature of the snake. So here's my green space. I want to overlap the next color, so now I'm going to color another space green, but lightly, so you can see the two different values. The next color in the rainbow is blue, so I'm going to pick up my blue, and I'm going to press lightly with the blue and color over the top of this light space of green. Then I'm going to color a space blue, pressing hard. Then I'm going to color a space with light blue, not pressing as hard, a different value. The next color in the rainbow is purple, so light purple over the top of the blue. Then I press and make a heavy purple, and then a light purple. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a secondary color and a primary color and I'm overlapping them to make the intermediate. So when you mix blue and green together, you get blue-green, and so that's the blue-green color. when you mix blue and violet together, you get blue-violet. So that's the blue-violet color. The next color in the rainbow, or that's the end of the rainbow, so you start with red again. I'm going to overlap the red a little bit here to make red-violet. So now I'm going to imagine that red is here. You don't have to. I could just go down here and do red here, because this is all one part of the body. But I'm going to imagine that red's under here, and that the red and orange overlapping is here. So the next part is going to be orange, and then a light version of orange, not as much pressure, not pushing as hard. Then the next color is going to be yellow, so I'm going to overlap yellow and orange. Then I'm going to press heavy with yellow, light with yellow, and the next color, back up to green again. So I overlap green with the yellow, lightly, press green, then medium green, not pressing as hard. I'm not coloring side to side. I get a lot of students that want to color their snake side to side, from one block line to the next. Please don't do that. Please color in this direction that I'm showing you, following the curvature of the snake. So the next color that comes is a light violet, or I'm sorry, violet, purple, overlapping, not pressing as hard, and then pressing hard, and then pressing light again. And then what comes after violet? Red. We start back over red, and then orange is next. So that will go over the top of this light red here. All right, so now when I go to a new part of my snake, I don't have to start with the color that comes next here or the color that comes up here. I can start with whatever color, because you need to imagine your snake is off the paper here. And so this is going to be all rainbow here, but we just don't see it because it's off the paper. And you're going to continue to do this until your snake is completely colored in, like you see here. Completely colored in. And then the final step, which your hand's going to get tired, but it's worth the step because it really makes your snake stand out. Your final step is to get a black crayon and color the background black. I want you to get a manila paper to go into your work, because you're going to be coloring a lot of the edges of your paper. And I want you to press hard with the black. I don't want you to do this with the black. Do the side thing with the black. It doesn't look as nice. Use the end of the black. Press hard without breaking it. Color in the same direction. Don't color like this and then around and then swirling, because then it just doesn't look as nice. Color in the same direction, back and forth, and fill in the background nice and black, because when you do that, it really makes your color wheel snake stand out and really makes it pop. And so that's how you're going to complete your color wheel snake. Good job.